Good afternoon. This is Cindy Bertram, and thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. Yes, it's been another amazing week. I had a chance to go down to Fort Lauderdale last week, and this was actually for the Cruise Lines International Association conference. They do it every year, and next year will be their 25th it's their conference. It's great. It's called Cruise 360, and it's great. They always hold it in Fort Lauderdale. Sometimes they've held it actually in Vancouver, in Canada, but it's great too because I got a chance to see good people, great presentations. I didn't do any ship inspections, didn't have time, but it's a great conference. And the Cruise Lines International Association is called CLIA. And what they do, they are really the portal to help the cruise industry and also travel advisors. And what they did was they did different presentations. And like I said, they work with different cruise line industry people, cruise lines, and they did all kinds of wonderful, great things too. And of course, they had different sponsors too. But one thing they do every year is they've got this phenomenal evening event. Okay, it's their Hall of Fame Cruise Industry Awards and Gala Dinner. They got great awards. I'll talk about more later on too. But yeah, it always brings tears of joy to my eye too. But anyway, with Cruise 360, they had different events that went on. They also had different cruise line executives speak on different panels. And so that was really fun too. I went to everything I could squeeze into. It was great because what they did was they had different panels, okay, and it was fun because they had general sessions and then they had different events too. The trade show, of course, you could actually hear music, live music, and when maybe a free cruise, which were cruise lines. And it was just great because once again, they do phenomenal things for the trailblazers, and they're expanding actually the Broward County Fort Lauderdale Convention Center. I cannot believe the growth in building they're doing right now. They're actually been working on this for a couple of years now, and they have bought us land next to it. So they're building a brand new hotel. And I did take some pictures from my room, different hotel, but it's amazing what they're doing because they're really planning getting this done. I think maybe in the next year or two, but just it's gorgeous, and I really, really find more options too. The hotel that they're building looks absolutely beautiful. I'll show you a picture in 1 minute, but it was such a great conference. I got a chance to see different people I've known for a while, but just to kind of show you different things too, is as far as what they're building. This is just one picture right here. That's part of the hotel they're building too, right at the convention center. It looks amazing too. So much fun too. Like I said, they're adding more parking, of course. And this is one area too that they've got. You can see the walkways too. But they're going to have more parking too across, connected to it, which is great too. So, but it's definitely a great convention center. They're adding more to it, which is great. But the fun thing is they have different speakers. They're cruise line executives, and just really fantastic too. Because once again, they had different events every day, starting Wednesday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday for travel advisors, they gave them an opportunity to actually sign up and see different ships, which is great too. So once again, it just kind of goes back to different things that they do, and they had different sessions each day for travel advisors, which I could actually sit in too. What they do was then they had their opening event in the Grand Ballroom, and the keynote speaker, of course, was Kelly Craig Hatch. She's the president and CEO of CLIA. What they did was they had different panelists. They had a president's panel that included Christine Duffy, who's the president of Chrono Cruise Line, Laura Hodges Bethshe, she's the president of Celebrity Cruises. They had Ruben Rodriguez, who's the president of MSC Cruises. David Herrera is the president of Norwegian Cruise Line. Frank Del Rio is the president of Oceania Cruises. And they also had John Paget, who's the president of Princess Cruises. And of course, they had Michael Bailey, who is the president and CEO of Royal Caribbean International, which is great too. And they asked him different questions as far as insights, what's going on, growth, and expansion, things like that too. Because they're all building new ships, which is great too. What they do is then they always have the trade show. That was on Thursday, which is great. And you got a chance to see different suppliers there too. they were giving away things you actually maybe win a free cruise. Different cruise lines gave those away too. They had music, entertainment, which is great too. And then also, what they did was the session that day was kind of fun because what they did was they had the actual trade show was on Thursday, or yeah, Thursday, which is great. They had a different panel that day, which is fun too, and they put them in the spotlight, which is fun too. So, but it's great. What they did was they put vice presidents of cruise lines in the hot seat. Okay, and those, of course, included vice presidents from the different cruise lines. And what they did was they had my inspector, who's with Ness, which is a travel consortium, great company, but he actually put these different cruise line vice presidents in the hot seat, so to speak, and asked them questions about their experience, how they got in the industry, what they love more too, and also like hidden questions. That was really fun too, because just fun different things too. And then of course, last day was a little shorter because they that evening. Oh, by the way, to Thursday evening, they call it their Hall of Fame, which is great. And what they do is they have different awards, and they're people in the industry, of course, and they win different awards after being nominated. But they have entertainment. The cruise lines offer entertainment too. It's a dinner with entertainment, and then they actually announce the awards to have them come up and speak too. But one that was really fun too was they actually had two different Lifetime Achievement Awards. Okay, well, the Lifetime Achievement Awards, and they gave it to John, who's actually Lovell, who's the president of Travel Leaders Group. They've been around for a long time. And what they did was then they actually had the CLIA Hall of Fame Cruise Industry Award, which Lifetime Achievement Award was actually given to Christine Duffy. She is the president of Carnival Cruise Line. And she's got a great story and always so energetic. And they shared her story because she's in my first book, which I'm updating right now about cruise line executives. But when she got out of school, she mentioned she wanted to be a flight attendant. But at those time periods, you actually had to be a certain height and weight. And at that point, you had to be 5'4" tall. Well, Christine Duffy was actually only 5'2". So she was 2 inches too short to be a flight attendant. But once again, she turned that no into a positive, got involved working for a travel agency, then moved up. The thing is, she got hooked on travel as a young girl because she actually had a chance to go overseas to visit relatives, which is great too. So, but she led roles at a big travel incentive company, and then she became president of the Cruise Lines International Association. And then I think in 2015 is when she became president of Carnival Cruise Line, and it was really great to speak and the stories that people shared about her too, because once again, it's a Lifetime Achievement Award too, and that was great. No, to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, which is great too. But once again, um, with she's been president of Carnival Cruise Line, I think since 2015, I think. But what they're doing too is they're also offering more new ships too, which is great. And she just mentioned that, she applied to be a flight attendant, of course, in her career, but then she missed it because she was too short. But she said that she was really delighted and grateful that her work in the cruise industry is really taking her to new heights that she never imagined, which is great too. And once again, Duffy continues to usher in Carnival Cruise Line's rapid growth. They've got 5 new ships in the next 2 years, and their expansion continues. Also, it's great too. Something that came up before is they're actually working on the development of their new exclusive destination, Celebration Key, which is going to be opening for guests to visit there in July of 2025, which is great. And like I said, with Carnival Cruise Line, they're really the first major U.S. cruise line to have its entire fleet back operating too, which is great. But Celebration Key, they keep adding more information about it too, different neighborhoods what they're going to have there for cruise line guests to enjoy. And what's fun too is Carnival actually celebrated their 50th birthday in 2022, and Then they actually welcomed in 2023, they welcomed their 100 millionth guest on board. Okay. And she served in that role as president since 2015. And she's just a fantastic person and just really energetic. And just, it was great to see her win this fantastic award, too. It was a great event. Dinner was good. Entertainment was fantastic. But once again, it truly kind of shows how in the cruise industry, they really recognize leaders. And it's great. Something else that came up too is I know this week they're actually launching one of the other ships too. They actually acquired it from a sister brand. I think that's going to be launching maybe the 24th. I'll check back with that too later on. My next episode next week, but also the Carnival Glory is actually went through some enhancements. And she was in a 21-day dry dock. What they do is they take the ship out, do enhancements to it. And this is actually the Carnival Glory. And she is right now going on a 14-day transatlantic cruise to their new home port of Port Canaveral. Yes, she will be sailing out of Port Canaveral. And on May 2nd, I believe, is when she actually starts sailing out of Port Canaveral. And it's great that cruise lines are really, really offering more options as far as where they sail from. Port Canaveral is one. It's a little over an hour away from Orlando Airport, and I sailed there a long time ago. But also, I know that they've got the ship just received some enhancements, and they've got a new casino layout. They've got a new non-smoking casino area, which is great. They've also got a newly added Heroes Tribute Bar and Lounge. This is a private venue that really honors industry military veterans, which is great, and also active duty service members too, which is great. They've also got their Dreams Photography Studio, which is added. They've also done some upgrades to the spa on board the ship. And for younger cruisers, they've got a dedicated outdoor youth area called Camo Ocean, which is designed and has a large video wall that's really been added to really enhance the Space Cruisers program. And I know they've got on May 2nd, the Carnival Glory will be joining the Carnival Freedom, the Carnival Vista, and the Carnival Mardi Gras in Port Canaveral, and should be offering 3 and 4 day itineraries visiting the Bahamas, including Nassau, Freeport, Princess Cays, and Bimini. And then, like I said, the Carnival Liberty is repositioning from Port Canaveral to New Orleans, and she'll be arriving there on May 6th. But that was good news, too. Something else that's coming up soon, very soon, is Cunard Line. They've got a new ship coming out, and it's their first new cruise ship in 14 years. Now, how exciting. Then they will have 4 ships. What they did was they actually did this handover ceremony on April 19th. The ship's going to be called the Queen Anne. And Anne, of course, is spelled Anne. And it was just delivered to Cunard and their president. Her name is Katie McAllister. Yes, she's a female president. And they just took possession of the Queen Anne to Cunard Line. And then she will be sailing, I believe, on, I think she's sailing on May 4th. Okay. And once again, she's another ship that they've got in addition to their Queen Mary II, the Queen Elizabeth, and the Queen Victoria. And this is the first time since 1999 that Cunard will actually have 4 ships and similar services too. And so that's kind of fun too. And then it's actually the 249th ship to sail on the Cunard flag. Yes, in the past, over the years, several years, Cunard's been around for a long time. Yes, they've actually had 248 ships under their flag line of tours. Not, they're all current, of course. They only have 4 ships now, but with the new Queen Anne, she's going to set sail for Southampton, in addition, ahead of our 7-night maiden voyages to Lisbon on May 3rd. And then she actually has a capacity of 3,000 guests, and she is 100,000 gross registered tons. And so she'll be sailing her first cruise. And they've got different partnerships. One that I think is fun too is they've actually got a partnership with he's a 2-star Michelin chef, Michel Roux. I met him a long time ago, but it's fun to see ships coming out like this too. And like I said, the Queen Anne will be the fourth ship now sailing under Cunard Lines, which is great. And she'll be sailing, I think, in May 3rd. So keep that in mind, too, in case you're interested on things she's doing, too. Something else that came up during the conference, and also when I was at Seatrade Cruise Global Conference the week before, is Windstar Cruises. What they did was they just acquired two ships, and one's a brand new boat ship. What they're doing, they've got two ships that they're adding, and it's a pair of 224 passenger all-suite ships to its fleet, and they acquired it from Mystic Invest. Okay, Mystic Invest actually has other cruise lines too, but what they're doing is they actually got those ships, and they mentioned this at Seatrade Cruise Global Conference last week. And the first ship, which is coming out in December of 2025, is called their Star Seeker. She's a new build, okay, and then the other ship coming out in December 2026 is called the World Explorer, and she was actually built first in 2019, the first built ship in the Mystic Expedition series. And right now she's on a charter to Cork Expeditions, but she will be renamed the Star Explorer when she comes into the Windstar Cruises. And she's going to be doing some redesigns too, because once again, they're just really excited about this too. And they mentioned this, of course, big announcement. They mentioned this at Seatrade, and of course they mentioned this again too. So that's good too, because with the addition, they're adding some things too. I know the addition includes a water sports platform, a Windstar type style pool, and also they've got a 2-level spa and fitness facility. They've got an intimate whirlpool on the bow, and also transformation area, the helipad, which is great too. And they've got the main dining room, which is going to include different upscale inventive dishes, including rotating items from the James Beard affiliated guest chefs too. They've also got the alfresco dining will be available at both Amphora and also the Star Grill. And then a no-charge specialty restaurant seating 38 to 40 24-hour room service rounds out their different dining options too. And that's good too, because once again, like I said, with the two ships additions, it's going to increase their capacity. Windstar Cruises, a 30% increase for Windstar, from 1,500 berths to 2,000 berths. Also, like I said, it gives the new ships really let Windstar really expand their deployment. And they're going to bring back one of their Windstar ships, the Windstar to Tahiti, and we'll be joining the Star Breeze in 2027, and really to meet that demand for the French Polynesian sailings too. And also the Star Seeker and Star Explorer both have strengthened hulls that will let them go to new destinations too, so that's good too. So keep that in mind too. Excuse me. Something else that came up too. This is a big announcement actually during came up I think through Seatrade Cruise Global Conference. Once again, they actually added more to this past week at Cruise 360, because they did have different presidents there too. But once again, Norwegian Cruise Line, what they did was they just ordered 8 new cruise ships for their 3 brands. Now, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings actually includes Norwegian Cruise Line. They've got Oceania Cruises, and they've got their other brand, which is actually Regent Seven Seas, which is great. So that's good too, because once again, they're adding more ships, and that's good too, because once again, also something else that came up too is they mentioned this week again too was actually in addition to ordering 8 new cruise ships for the 3 brands, what they do is they confirm something else, which I think is really exciting and fun. Which Cruise Line, they've had their own private out island for years. In fact, the first cruise I took, actually, I went there and I fell in love with it. They've expanded it like crazy. It was beautiful. The thing is, the ships had to actually anchor, and they had to tender onto the island itself. What they did is they made a big announcement last week at Seatrade, of course, and then this week at Cruise 360. They actually confirmed they've got a 2-berth pier they're going to be building at Great Stirrup Cay, which means the ships will actually be able to dock there, which is fantastic. Because most of the time, when cruise lines started doing their own private out islands, the ship would actually anchor and you had to take tender boats. Well, they've gone through transitions to change that because, once again, it makes it easier for people to get off the ship if they can actually dock there. And MSC Cruises is one example with their beautiful Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve. They can actually dock, I think, 2 ships there if they need to. But once again, docking the ships there gives them more opportunities to maybe stay longer, which MSC Cruises does at night, different events. It makes it easier for the people to get on off into the island, go back on the ship if they want to, and then different things. But once again, they've got, like I said, I think it's really fantastic. They've got their new dock they're actually building so that their ships can actually dock there at Great Stirrup Cay. It's going to be over $150 million investment, okay? And the pier, which was actually approved by the Bahamian government last year, they're starting to do a groundbreaking ceremony this summer, and then should be completed by late 2025. Once again, it's going to be a $150 million investment, but it'll be able to handle 2 large ships with their current and future classes of ships too, which is great. And once again, it's a beautiful island. They got different areas to see. They've got an area just for people that stay in their upscale suites on board the ship. But once again, it really is, let's really increase their capacity in the Caribbean, also call their island, which is gorgeous, and just really providing more of a seamless experience to their private out island year round. And also, something else that came up too is, once again, cruise lines are really focusing on designing their new class of ships, which really are designed to focus on the decarbonization too, which is great because, once again, with the Cruise Lines International Association, they have a goal to have ships in the industry, cruise ships, be net zero emissions by 2050. And most cruise lines are really jumping into this as far as how they design and create their ships too in the future. We need that more than ever. It shares phenomenal things too, because once again, people realize that that's one area that cruise lines are really stepping forward onto too, as far as making go to net zero. Also, a lot of cruise lines that are working in different ports, they can actually access shore power. Yes, when they dock, depending on the island they're going to. But that's something that's really phenomenal. People need to be aware of too. And going back to the new ships that Norwegian Corporation announced, these deliveries of those 8 new ships, as mentioned, can be for Norwegian Cruise Line, Oceania Cruises, as well as Region 7 Seas. And those are going to add nearly 25,000 additional berths. And these deliveries are going to be taking place over a 10-year period from 2026 through 2036. And once again, right now with Norwegian Cruise Line, they've got their Prima class ships, Prima Plus ships from 2025 through 2028. And like I said, then they've got delivery of 4 approximately 200,000 gross registered ton ships, which will have a capacity for nearly 5,000 passengers if it's, lower berths in 2030, 2032, 2034, and 2036. And right now, Norwegian Cruise Line's current largest ship is their 169,000 Norwegian Encore, which I had a chance to see. It's beautiful. And then they've got their their last Allura class ship in 2025, and then they'll take place it's for Oceania Cruises. Okay, that's their Allura class ship, and they're going to take, this is for Oceania Cruises. They'll take the delivery of these 2 86,000 vessels with a capacity of 1,400 guests, passengers for each, 2027 and 2029. And then, of course, the sister ships Vista and the 2025 Allura will be currently Oceania Cruises' largest ships. But once again, they have capacity of 1,200 guests, which is not really big when you think about it. But once again, Oceania Cruises is more of a luxury premium brand too. And then Regent, which is their luxury brand, is planning to take delivery of two 7,700,000 gross registered ton ships. This will be in 2026 and 2029, and those will have a capacity of just 850 passengers, which is great. So once again, it's good to kind of see what's going on in the industry, a lot of growth, excitement. And once again, I'll be sharing more about that later on too, because people need to know what's going on in the industry and sharing positive things that are continuing to go on. As far as sustainability, yes, that's important. The cruise lines are all focusing on this together. That's important because once again, we need to make sure that we save the ocean life, which is very important too. So they're thinking about most cruise lines are now using liquefied natural gas for the new ships being built, constructed that have come out. Also, they're looking into other alternative energies. One that has come up, it depends on where you actually sail to, but some cruise ports actually have a way for them to access fuel, engineering from the port itself too. Okay, so keep that in mind. A bit more about the Norwegian Aqua. Got more information about this. She's going to debut actually in 2025, and she's going to offer fresh food and beverage experiences that include Norwegian Cruise Line's first upscale Thai restaurant, their first plant-based eatery, and a new wine bar. And the Thai restaurant is going to include authentic additional offerings. Diners can look forward to a new spin on traditional staples such as Thai food, Thai cashew chicken, and with salt and pepper prawns, Thai grilled steak salad, and a variety of different other things too. The decor is actually blends traditional and contemporary Thai design elements, and this will be located on deck 17. It'll have bamboo and rice paper pendant lights, and also colorful furniture. Plant Eatery joins their Indulge Food Hall, and with this, they've got the new Plantary, which will offer plant-based bowls and other healthy options. And dishes will include their Southwest bowl with a smoked tempeh, also a Mediterranean goddess bowl with spiced vegetables, and other items too. Also, offering indoor and outdoor seating, the Indulge Food Hall gives you really more options too. Indoors and outdoor dining. They've got a new design by a group which will have right there 14 food stations from different international food marketplaces around the world. And of course, they've got beautiful architecture features that will include, I think, warm, colorful tones plus deep wood accents too. Also, they have premiering aboard the Norwegian Aqua is the Swirl Wine Bar. I love that name, Swirl Wine Bar, right? It's a contemporary wine lounge that will actually have an intimate experience. It's going to be tucked away on deck 6 between the whiskey bar and Hasuki, which is a hibachi style restaurant. And Swirl is going to be offering, of course, wine by the glass menu, also an extensive list of rare and premium wines. And it's really been inspired by different designs. Arizona's Antelope Canyon with water with really, really warm color hues too. And of course, they've got their redesigned Commodore room too. The Norwegian Aqua is going to offer enhanced restaurants and lounges as part of the new premium class. One's going to be their contemporary dining room, main contemporary dining room, the Commodore room. It's being redesigned now. And then will look like more of it's been inspired by the captain's room of the past, but really maritime sophistication. And then they relocated their Metropolitan Bar, which is actually Norwegian Cruise Line's modern sail and sustain cocktail bar, which actually won the 2024 by Vista Award for the best beverage program. It's going to return, and it's going to be relocated midship to aft on deck 7. And then some other things too, as far as new looks for their returning restaurants. Nama Sushi and Sashimi, which actually debuted on the Norwegian Prima and continued on the Norwegian Viva, will return. It's got a fresh design, And then they've got, located in Deck 17, they've got their Surfside Cafe Restaurant, Buffet Restaurant. And then next door, they've got their Surfside Cafe, which is an upscale, offers Mediterranean seafood venues, which is great. Also, they mentioned they've got the whiskey bar is going to be relocated to Deck 6 near their new Swirl Wine Bar. Keep that in mind. Swirl Wine Bar. And then the Belvedere Bar is going to move to Deck 8 at the heart of the atrium, which is the main part of the ship, too. Also, the Penrose Bar and their Waves Pool Bar will feature new designs and venues such as the Local Bar and Grill. That's actually Norwegian Cruise Line's 24-hour pub-style restaurant. Azuki, which is their Japanese hibachi experience. They've got Cagney's, which is their signature upscale American steakhouse. And they're going to be expanding it to really accommodate their first Prima class ship. Other returning spots include Hudson's, which is their elevated complimentary main dining room. Also got Le Bistro, which is their high-end French restaurant. Los Lobos, which is, of course, a contemporary Mexican dining venue with outdoor seating, which I think is great. Who wouldn't want to have dining outside, outdoor deck, and enjoy wonderful food, too? They've also got Anda by Scarpetta, which is an upscale Italian restaurant, and which also offers alfresco dining at Ocean Boulevard. And the Norwegian Aqua, by the way, is going to be debuting actually in April 2025, and she will be sailing from Port Canaveral. So once again, get more options. If you are really interested in sailing out of Port Canaveral, keep it in mind because it's really becoming a fast-going port area for cruise lines to actually sail from. And I started sailing from Port Canaveral years and years ago. I've done that a long time ago myself when I worked as a travel advisor. But once again, there are options when you think about sailing on a cruise ship. Okay, of course, Port Miami is where cruise industry really began years and years ago, over 50 years ago. We've got, of course, Port Everglades and Fort Lauderdale. Another one, of course, we've got is Galveston. Ships are sailing out of Galveston, Texas. Yes. And also, you've got some ships that would sail out of New Orleans. I did that one time a long time ago. Other area, of course, is Port Canaveral. And, of course, you've got ships that sail out of New York City. And New York City doesn't just offer cruises that would sail to Bermuda, which is fantastic, gorgeous. I did that one time. And yes, they do have real pink sand beaches. The sand in Bermuda is pink, which is gorgeous. Light pink, not dark pink, but light pink. Something else, too, is we've got ships that sail out of, on the west coast would be California. And we've got, of course, for Alaska, they got ships that sail out of Seattle as well as Vancouver. Plus, we've got ships that sail around the world, too. So keep that in mind, too, because once again, we're seeing a lot of growth when it comes to the river cruise industry, too. And it's just so good to experience different things, too. Something else that came up, too, is, I mentioned this before, but with MSC Cruises, right now, their private island, which is called Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, is right now going through some updates. Okay. And so guests aren't able to go there, but they're doing some great updates on the island. It's beautiful. I was there for christening a couple years ago on their new ship, and we actually sailed to Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve. The ship was able to dock there, and we got a chance to explore it for like almost a day and a half. It was gorgeous. They christened the ship then, but they've added more to it too, and they're building some areas here too. But once again, what they're doing is they're doing some beautiful things they're doing too, and then it will be opening up to guests to visit on their ship starting on May 22nd this year. And also, MSC Cruises revealed that in 2025, their itineraries for the North American market feature 4 ships that are going to be sailing from U.S. home ports. So travelers can actually choose from different vacation options. Departures from New York City, Miami, and Port Canaveral that visit areas, destinations in the Caribbean and Florida, Bahamas, and Bermuda. And also, what's great too is many of their itineraries do include a visit to MSC Cruises' private island, Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve. Also, MSC Cruises right now is currently working on building a new port in Port Miami, and it's going to actually be coming out available in 2025. They got a new terminal they're building at Port Miami, and in April of 2025, MSC Cruises' largest ship, the MSC World America, is going to actually debut in April 2025 from the new cruise terminal in Port Miami. She'll be offering 7-night cruises to the Caribbean islands, and this LNG, liquefied natural gas, yes, LNG, is going to be it's going to be the largest vessel operated by the cruise line in the U.S. and provides great experiences for their guests. As far as the port she'll be sailing to, she will be offering 7-night cruises to the Caribbean ports. Ports of call right now they mentioned include San Juan, Puerto Rico, Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, Costa Maya, and Cozumel, also Isla de Roatan in the Honduras, and of course Ocean Cay. And what they're doing is with their this new modern ship, all this is really modernized too, is they really want to make sure the summer season of 2025 is really exciting for their guests, and it really gives them more options for sailing out of Port Miami, which is great, in their new terminal. Also, the MSC Seascape is going to be providing 3 and 4 night options too. So once again, they're really excited. They've got 4 ships sailing from U.S. home ports that will call on Ocean Cay and really provide the guests with an opportunity to really experience MSC Cruises' unique and beautiful island. I've been there myself. I want to go back. It's gorgeous. And as far as what they're doing there is, I think I mentioned before, is with MSC Cruises and their parent company, which is family owned. They actually leased that island from the Bahamian government back in 2015 for 100 years, and they paid him $100 million. It was a former manufacturing plant. It was devastated, really in bad shape. With MSC and the family, they actually invested $400 million. Yes, $400 million of their own money invested in that island to clean it up. They had to rebuild trees. The trees were dead. The sea life was dead. The beaches were horrible. They rebuilt it. And also they've been working on doing like a marine lab there too. But the updates right now too is they've got a new section there doing, once again, people need to know what they're doing really, I think, to really experience a beautiful island like this in the Bahamas. It's just gorgeous. And what's good too is they don't have to leave early. Several times, well, even when I was there for the christening, we didn't leave until maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. After the christening, which was indoors, we got a chance to go outdoors. They have a lighthouse. They had a light show there too. But it's great to really see different things too. And you could just walk off the ship on the island because it docks right there. It was fantastic. And once again, what they do is sometimes they do like an overnight stay. Because once again, that kind of gives you really good chances to relax, experience the island, see more the next day if you need to. And as far as their itinerary highlights, I found more information about this that I wanted to share with the World America, which is going to be sailing at 7-8 itineraries from Miami. Should be departing on Saturdays. And this is going to be taking place in April 2025. Also, I just got invited to see the ship on April 9th to the 12th, be on board of 2025. So I'm really excited about that. But with the itineraries in the World America, she's offering 7-night cruises from Miami, departing on Saturdays. She'll have a 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise, which will go to Puerto Plata, San Juan, and Ocean Cay. And they've got a 7-night Western Caribbean sailing that's going to be sailing out of Costa Maya, Cozumel, Isla de Roatan, in the Ocean Cay. And also their MSC Seascape is going to be offering some 3 and 4 night sailings as well as 7-night sailings from Miami, departing on Thursday and Sundays. Their 3 and 4 night sailings will include Nassau, the Bahamas, and of course their private island, Ocean Cay. Also, their 7-night Eastern Caribbean sailings, which will include Ocean Cay, of course. Yes, when I went there, I didn't want to leave. Believe me, it was that gorgeous. And Nassau, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Puerto Plata. Their 7-night Western Caribbean cruise will be sailing across the Ocean Cay, Nassau, Jamaica, Grand Cayman. And then they've got their MSC Mariglia. I got a chance to see her last year. And she sails actually out of New York City. She sails to Florida, the Bahamas, and Bermuda. And right now, with their 7-night Florida Bahamas cruise, that goes to Port Canaveral, Nassau, and then Ocean Cay. They've got a 7-night Bermuda cruise, which of course stays several nights in Bermuda. And they've got their Seashore, which sails out of Port Canaveral. Yes, another ship out of Port Canaveral. She has different options sailing on Thursdays and Sundays. Our 3 and 4 night cruises will be sailing to Bahamas, Nassau, of course, and Ocean Cay, their out island. They've got 7 night Western Caribbean sailings, Cozumel, Costa Maya, Ocean Cay. So definitely keep that in mind because there's so much going on with new ships coming out. Once again, the focus on liquefied natural gas. And of course, I know I mentioned this, I think in my last episode was actually with Scenic Emerald Cruises. And when I was at the cruise conference this past week, the week before, they made some announcements about that too, because with Emerald Cruises, they've got their beautiful ship coming out with their different ships. They're part of the parent company, of course. They're part of Globus, but with the Emerald, I know that they've got a new ship coming out with the Emerald Cruises too. Plus, what's great too is with the Scenic, the Emerald Kaya is actually coming out in April 2026. That's part of their Emerald Yacht experience that's coming out in 2026. It's called the Emerald Kaya. And of course, they've got on Scenic Eclipse 1 and Scenic Eclipse 2, what's great too is they actually have submersible experiences too, which is great. And just fun things that they're all doing, different experiences too. So if you think about cruise ships, you've got so many choices out there. It really depends on where you want to go, what you want to see, the size of the ships, of course, because once again, yes, we have the world's largest cruise ship that just debuted earlier and officially in January this year, Icon of the Seas, the biggest cruise ship ever built. Yes, that's the one that actually has a chief dog officer. Yes, her name is Rover. And of course, she's in the bridge, but she's not on the bridge all the time because she's not really driving the ship with her forepaws, okay? But she is brought on board to really bring fun and excitement to people too. So she's not in the bridge all the time. They have someone that takes care of her so people can actually see her. Something else, when I was at Cruise 360 this past week, on Wednesday morning, I was in the press room for a bit waiting, and I ended up talking, I think it might have been Thursday. I was in the press room for a bit. I actually talked to Michael Bailey, the president of Royal Caribbean. Great person. He's got a great story. His first job in the cruise industry actually was working on board a Royal Caribbean ship. He was actually an assistant purser. He started in 1981. He was on the Nordic Prince as assistant purser. Worked with Royal Caribbean in different areas too. He's from Great Britain and then moved up in different areas. Then he became president of Celebrity Cruises and then became president of Royal Caribbean, I think about 10 years ago, but a great person. And we talked a bit more about Rover because I thought, oh my gosh, I like mid-sized ships, but I'll tell you what, who wouldn't want to go on a ship like Icon of Seas and see Rover, the chief dog officer, right? Talk to her. He mentioned quietly that that when Rover, they adopted Rover to become their chief dog officer when she was 3 months old. They did training with her too, but what they did was they had Rover stay with Michael Bailey for a week, I think. And they told him what to do. Of course, he loves dogs, but she was in a crate during the night. She started whining. He let her out of the crate. She hopped in bed with him. It's great. But he mentioned quietly too is they have another chief dog officer. Yes, another one. Should be on their new ship, the Star of the Seas, coming out, I think, in I can't remember if that ship's coming out in 2025 or 2026. Might be 2025. I'll share more when I get more confirmed about that too. But her name is actually going to be Sailor. So Chief Officer Sailor. And yes, of course, she's going to be a golden retriever too. I don't think she's a sister with Rover, but once again, they like golden retrievers and how fun. He quietly announced it to me too, so that this really builds excitement. I got to share it, okay? I wasn't sworn to secrecy when I talked to him, but how fun to have a cruise line actually have a chief dog officer as a position on their ship, and something to think about too as far as jobs for dogs, right? Mark, any questions for me?
Yeah, I had a couple of quick questions and everything. I did see that today, and I was actually going to show a video about it, but today is actually Earth Day. So I did see that
Yes,
the
I
cruise
forgot to
industry
mention. Oh my gosh, I forgot
was
to
doing some
mention.
things
Yes.
around Earth Day and
Yep.
all along those lines. So I actually saw, and I'll bring one of these video ups the old fashioned way and everything. But I did see that even Carnival was doing something around that whole notion of celebrating sustainability. And definitely, I saw that there was another one of the ports that was doing something as well. But I think we'll get to Carnival first, and then we'll get to the port as well. But definitely, there's all these amazing things that are happening in the way of what's going on with sustainability and trying to make sure that we're doing things
Yes.
in the space of good ship, but also having a good environment as well. So this is one of those that I'll bring up, and we'll play this and see what they're talking about. So this is the one around sustainability and all
Yes.
along those lines.
If you think about what we do, right? Providing outstanding vacations for our guests, taking them to places around the world. If we're not doing everything we possibly can to protect those and working with our partners in those destinations to help them protect them, then really we don't have a sustainable business model, much less a sustainable environmental model. So we're in the recycling center of the ship. Every ship in the fleet has one, and we have two teams who work in here. So it's manned 24 hours a day because waste never stops coming down. And the role of this space is to properly sort it, segregate it, and process it. It's everybody's responsibility on the ship to make sure that waste is properly sorted so that we can maximize recycling. We have a very ambitious and robust program to reduce the generation of food waste. So the biodigesters are machines that use beneficial bacteria to digest soft food that's effectively the same type of food that humans would eat. We simply take the food waste, put it into the digesters, and the digesters break it down. Having these located in every galley, it's a win-win. When it comes to air emissions. So first of all, it's about 20% less carbon intensive than traditional fossil fuels. We realize that we're going to have to use every tool in the toolbox. It's automation, it's hardware changes, it's getting more and more efficient engines. It's everything. So our guests have to play their part. The great news is when we ask them to save electricity, we ask them to not waste water, they respond very well. They want to play their part because they want to know that when it comes time for their next cruise vacation, they want to know that that place has been preserved so that they can go back and enjoy it, and their children, and then future generations.
Yep. So that was one of them, and everything along those lines. So that was a very powerful message that was in that space. But like I said, I also found one that was involving one of the ports and what they were doing actually on it today and everything. I think this was a port that was actually there in the whole notion of Seattle and all in that space. So I'll bring this up, and this is another one, and we'll see how they were celebrating Earth Day 2024 in the port of Los Angeles. I know you're talking about these different ports, but this is how they were
Right.
doing it at the port of Los Angeles.
Ports throughout time used to tell a story of smokestacks and soot. But here at the Port of Los Angeles, we've been rewriting that story for decades.
Since 2006, we've been working diligently to clean the air, cutting emissions from vessel and cargo operations.
We're one of the world's leading ports in developing zero emissions technologies for loading and unloading these giant container ships.
We're the first in the world to plug container ships into shore power, so they wouldn't have to use diesel engines while in port.
And today we have one of the largest fleets of cleaner powered trucks of any port in the world.
Technology is still developing, but by 2035, our goal is for every truck and every piece of cargo handling equipment on our docks to be emission-free. And it's more than clean air, it's clean water too.
After decades of shipbuilding and industrial use, expectations of clean water in any port were low.
Not anymore. For 40 years, we've been working on water quality. Today, the birds and fish are back, and marine life is thriving.
There's one more environment we've been working on, the human environment, places where you can come and enjoy the port.
We've invested millions on parks, promenades, and places to play.
Now, there are hundreds of acres of public space that hosts concerts, events, and more, with unbeatable waterfront views.
Which is why on Earth Day, we're so happy to share all the ways that we are shaping a beautiful environment here at the Port of Los Angeles.
Because we don't just work here.
We live here.
LA is our city.
And this is our port.
So that's what they were doing to make things better at the Port of
Right.
Los Angeles, making it more environmentally sound and all along those lines and everything. So that was really good to see that that was going on. I did find this other cruise, and I know you know all these small cruises, but I had not heard of this one and everything. This is only about a minute, but I'll play this one and then hear your thoughts about Argosy Cruises, which apparently is in the West Coast as well. But this is a one that they did one of their promotional ones and all along those lines. But they're there in Seattle, Washington. So I'll play this really brief one, and then we'll learn a little bit about Argosy as well. Apparently, they had a captain that was a woman as well when I looked at them at first. But this is one of the videos that I saw just of their promotion. So Argosy Cruises in Seattle, Washington. It's a little bit about them, but hold on one second. I think if I go back, I can see the lady that was talking about their excursion.
Hi, I'm Frank. I am Makan Shimshian. I'm going to introduce you to the Turbo Beast. Meet him at Tilikum Village.
Visit tilikumvillage.com and make it happen, Captain.
Hold on. That's the one I was
Hi,
looking for.
I'm Captain Shane Rich.
Oops. Hold on. I think we lost them there for a second.
Right.
And everything. So hold on. I might have lost that one, so I'll just take that one down. But that was a woman captain. I was trying to get her up and everything along those lines. But yeah, they had a woman captain as well, and all in that space. I was trying to get to that particular video, and I might still try to get to it at some point or another. But yeah, they had a woman captain also that was part of that small ship there, because like you oftentimes say, there are these big ships, but then there's the small ones as well. So it's just good to see that they have definitely been trying to increase the amount of women that are there as well. So that was just something that was a positive news from Argosy Cruises. I think I pronounced that correctly, and
Yes.
all along those lines. But definitely that is something that was going on there in Seattle.
Right. With Argosy Cruises, by the way, they are actually they're sightseeing cruises in and around Seattle. So you're not sailing out over several nights. It's sightseeing cruises around and in Seattle, the Seattle area, which is still beautiful because once again, too, is originally traditionally when you wanted to go to Alaska, you had to sail in Vancouver or other places of Alaska. Or, you know, this is Canada, but different places too. But what happened was then cruise lines kind of focused on maybe having ships sail to Alaska to Seattle. Beautiful area. Was there for different meetings too. Once again, they have sightseeing cruises. So with the Argosy Cruises, they do sightseeing cruises in and around Seattle itself.
Yeah, and I knew there was different ones that did different tours around certain areas, whether that's them in Seattle. I think there's some around some of the areas around New Orleans and the riverboat areas, and definitely there might be some in Charleston and places like that, and all along those lines. Didn't want to shortchange the young lady, so I will definitely let her just hear a little bit of her cruise space and everything, so we can at least hear what she's got to say, because it's only like 20 seconds and all in that space. So like I said, that was the young lady that announced herself and let folks know who she was, and all in that space. So definitely hopefully folks got a chance to see that one. I'm not sure if I had it up or not, whether that was actually playing at the time, but hopefully
Right.
folks got a chance to see what that was all about and all along those lines. But just in case we didn't get it on, I'm going to just run it back because I realized that it might not have been playing at that time. But yeah,
Right.
definitely, as you were saying, there's all these amazing things that are taking place on a regular basis and all along those lines. Because as you like to say all the time, good ship is happening, and we're always glad to have good ship happening here on this particular station, Pod TV, as well as the amazing things that you find out. I can't wait to see it, another dog on a ship and all along those lines.
Oh, me too.
That'll be
It's so
wonderful. That'll be so cute. And then I can't wait to see the cat as well because I love cats and
right.
dogs
Right.
and all in that space. I think that I did not get the video on the last time, so let me just see if we can get this
Okay.
one last time to see if we can get her little brief intro about who she's all about. Like I said, this literally takes all of 10 seconds.
Hi, I'm Captain Shane Rich, and if you think the Northwest looks spectacular from land, just wait until you see it from the water.
Visit ArgosyCruises.com and make it happen, Captain.
Yep.
Yeah, one thing about going back to National Earth Day, it's actually tomorrow.
Okay, it's
National Earth
actually
Day is
tomorrow.
tomorrow, right? But what's good too is all cruise lines have different things they're doing to celebrate it. Plus, we're seeing celebrations at ports, of course, too.
Yes.
Because once again, it's very, very important to make sure that things are sustainable and we're not killing wildlife in the ocean. That's one area too, as far as with MSC Foundation, and they're building those coral reef trees. And at Ocean Cay Embassy Marine Reserve, they're different things here too. Plus, they've got this lab they're building there too, a conservation area too. I'll be sharing more of that after they reopen the island on May 22nd. But once again, it's a beautiful out island, and as mentioned before, is where the renovations they're doing right now. I think they're spending another $150 million to
Wow.
do renovations. Once again, it's not building roller coasters or things like that. It's sustainability efforts, and I really, really, truly admire what they're doing.
No,
cruise
definitely
lines-
admire what they're doing. And like you said, it's not just them and everybody, because there are a number of them that are doing the work and everything. Because the other thing that I had seen really quickly, and we'll have to go through the whole article, but apparently the Royal Caribbean on their blog and all along those lines was talking about some of the things that they were doing to celebrate Earth Day and to be sustainable as well. Because as the Royal Caribbean said, on Earth Day and every day, there are ways that everyone can play a part in protecting the Earth and our communities that they call home. From learning how to compost to reducing single-use plastics and the use of paper, we can start helping with these easy ideas. Some might even turn into new hobbies and year-round habits. So Royal Caribbeans has dedicated decades to caring for the ocean and the destinations that they visit. And they have a program, which I did not know about. Maybe you know about it, called the Save the Waves program. That is a sustainability practice in action across their ships and private destinations, like Perfect Day at Coco Cay, where its water conservation efforts are using advanced technology to reduce energy use and everything. And they just break down some tips that they try to do on their airlines, everything from reducing single-use plastics, avoiding paper piling up on the ship, revamping their recycling efforts, and all along those lines to zero carbon, which I know you talk about it all the time, outdoor fun, and all in that space. And definitely they also talk about choose a green energy supply. So some of this you can do while you're on the ship, because they even talk about that new ship you mentioned, Icon of the Seas, will be which is the first in their lineup to be powered, as you said, by liquefied natural gas and all in that space. And they also said that they try to do better in terms of the food choices they consider and even repurposing unused foods and all in that space. So they talk about different things that they can do, whether that's composting or a number of other things. And apparently they have some donations because they say for donations, consider giving to your environmentally friendly organization groups like the Canopy Project, which focuses on reforestation in disadvantaged communities. For example, our World Wildlife Fund, that I know about them, WWF, is one of their partners. And then digital learning. So that's just some of the things that they talk about, even with the WWF's Wild Classroom, which offers toolkits to help children about their favorite creatures, as well as virtual reality voyages. They use 360-degree images to highlight national marine sanctuaries around the country. So they do a lot of work over there at the Royal Caribbean in this space and all along those lines. So folks can check that out if they go to the Royal Caribbean website and check out their blog. But they talked about ways they were celebrating Earth Day.
But all cruise lines are doing that too. They really are. And they're really stepping up like crazy to be net carbon zero by 2050. And we got so many ships coming out now. They have liquefied natural gas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's important. But they're really, really trying to hit that mark before 2050. I really admire for that. But once again, it shows they really, really care about the oceans and marine life.
Yep.
And that's so important too. More than ever. And they really stand out that way. And it's a good way to kind of share this information in a very, very positive but real way too, because people don't realize what's going on in the oceans and what they're doing. And with the MSC Foundation, that's just one beautiful example. And the thing that's really good too is with MSC Foundation, they're part of the family that owns MSC Cruises, Explorer Journeys. They've got their Mediterranean Shipping Group company, which is really like the core of the whole business for years and years, hundreds of years. I don't know, maybe 56 years at least. I don't know when they started a container shipping company. Once again, they really, really care about the ocean. I give them so much credit. But all cruise lines are moving forward so fast on this, and we need to make people aware of it too more than ever because they eliminate plastic straws. My gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And like you said, even some of the small places are doing it as well. Because one of the things that I was looking at, and we're going to wrap up and I can bring up about the MSC, but and yeah, Earth Day, I did realize with I think tomorrow the official day.
Yeah.
But there were activities because it's the weekend today. Because I know we had some here in Durham, North Carolina, and I saw that in Dana Point, California, that they were actually doing a Dana Wharf whale watching today, and they were definitely doing a lot of stuff like that because apparently that's been going on in that part of the world in Orange County over there in California since 1971. So they'll be holding an Earth Day celebration on board of the Dana Wharf whale watching vessel, the Ocean Adventure. So they were doing that for a sunset whale watch. So it's not sunset there yet. So they'll be doing that in a few hours, and it'll be a balloon pickup from 5 to 7 p.m. And they'll have a special guest, Vicki Patterson from Stand Up to Trash. They'll be on board discussing ways in which they can help with this year's theme of planet versus plastic. So it looks like they're going to have some good fun, and it really wasn't that bad of a cost and everything. It looks like it was around $56 per person, and 10% of those tickets would going to be donated to these different organizations like Stand Up to Trash and the Gray Whale Foundation and other things. So it looks like that could be a great event. And apparently they've been doing stuff all Earth Month because they were doing stuff from April 1st to the 22nd, which is tomorrow, the actual day and everything. So it's just great that you can sit there if you're on the West Coast, watch the whales, and also do something to help out with the environment.
Exactly. Once again, that's such a core value, I think, of the cruise industry and other areas of travel too. But once again, people need to be aware of that because once again, we have to save our environment and the ocean life more than ever. They're part of us.
Yep.
Yes.
No doubt about that. Whenever you're ready to close out, we'll close out with Sylvia Earle because we also use her and everything. But yeah, so that's what I knew I was going to bring up with the notion of Earth Day. Because like I said, if I hadn't had things going on at the Hayti Center and other places, I probably would have been at our Earth Day celebration. Plus, it's been a little rainy here, so I wasn't really rushing to go out there and everything in the rain and everything. Even though I did look, and there were people that were out there, including we have a water company, Water Drop, that is like a mascot, and then we've got one that's a mascot that's a squirrel for the Parks and Rec here in our local department, and both of them were out there, those two mascots and everything. I think it's Dewey is the Water Drop, and I forgot the squirrel's name and everything. It might be Paddock or something like that, but they were going to encourage people to come out in the rain, but I was not going to do that today.
That's good, but we can show the video now too, which is great too. Once again, just focusing on what cruise lines are doing together as far as sustainability. And once again, it's a foremark what they're doing. They're going to get there earlier than 2050. Believe me, I know that.
Yep, I agree. So let's check out Dr. Sylvia Earle. As we remember, as you always say, good ship happens.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Sylvia Earle. a marine biologist, oceanographer, explorer, and I'm passionate about the protection of this blue planet. I grew up next to the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico, and I've witnessed how much the ocean has changed and how marine life has been endangered. But I know there is still time to help the ocean, which is why I was drawn to the Aponte family's sustainability mission. Explorer Journeys has a genuine ambition to connect people with the wonders of the sea, its marine life, its communities, spiritually, physically, and intellectually. We share the same values and have the same objectives to deepen people's relationship with the ocean, to explore, protect, and restore. Explorer Journeys calls it the ocean state of mind, a sensibility that will ensure the protection of this precious blue planet. Through my foundation, Mission Blue, we're working on ocean conservation, inspiring hope with champions across the world. Beginning with my extraordinary role as godmother to Explorer One, we will be heralding a meaningful collaboration between myself, Mission Blue, and Explorer Journeys and the MSC Foundation towards preserving and restoring the world's oceans, the blue heart of the planet.